It all started on a warm summer evening. The kind where the air feels heavy with secrets. Lily was hosting a small dinner party at her and James's house. James was in the kitchen, pouring drinks, while Lily mingled with their guests. Among them was Alex, James's best friend and business partner. Lily had always found Alex intriguing. There was something about the way he carried himself, confident, yet approachable. Their conversations were always light, filled with laughter, but tonight, something felt different. Maybe it was the way his eyes lingered on her a second too long. Or the way his hand brushed against hers when he handed her a glass of wine. Whatever it was, it sent a shiver down her spine. As the night went on, the group moved to the living room. James was deep in conversation with another guest, leaving Lily and Alex sitting side by side on the couch. Their knees almost touched, and Lily could feel the heat radiating from him. She tried to focus on the conversation, but her mind kept wandering. "You look stunning tonight, Lily," Alex said, his voice low and smooth. Lily felt her cheeks flush. "Thank you, Alex. You don't look so bad yourself." They shared a smile, and for a moment, it felt like the rest of the room had disappeared. But then James called out to Alex, breaking the spell. Lily quickly looked away, her heart racing. The next few weeks were a blur. Lily found herself thinking about Alex more and more. She tried to push the thoughts away, telling herself it was just a harmless crush. But it was getting harder to ignore. One afternoon, Lily was at the office dropping off some paperwork for James. Alex was there, working late. They ended up talking for hours. About everything and nothing. It was easy, comfortable, and yet, there was an underlying tension that neither of them acknowledged. As the sun set, Alex walked Lily to her car. They stood there for a moment, the silence between them heavy with unspoken words. "I should go," Lily said, her voice barely above a whisper. Alex nodded, but he didn't move. Instead, he reached out and tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. His hand lingered for a moment, and Lily felt her breath catch. "Good night, Lily," he said softly. "Good night, Alex," she replied, her heart pounding as she got into her car. That night, Lily couldn't sleep. She kept replaying the moment in her mind, wondering what would have happened if she had stayed just a little longer. It was a cold, rainy night when everything changed. James had been working late at the office. As usual, Lily had tried calling him multiple times, but he hadn't answered. She assumed he was busy and decided to wait up for him. Around midnight, the doorbell rang. Lily rushed to the door, expecting to see James, but instead, she found two police officers standing there, their faces grim. "Mrs. Thompson?" one of them asked. "Yes, that's me," Lily replied, her heart sinking. "We're sorry to inform you that your husband, James Thompson, was found dead earlier tonight. It appears to be a car accident. But we're still investigating." Lily felt like the ground had been ripped out from under her. She couldn't breathe, couldn't think. James was gone, just like that. The days that followed were a blur. Lily was numb, going through the motions of planning the funeral, meeting with lawyers, and dealing with the endless paperwork. Alex was there for her every step of the way, offering support and comfort. But as the initial shock wore off, Lily started to notice things that didn't add up. James's car had been found in a ditch, but the damage didn't seem consistent with a typical accident. There were no skid marks, no signs of braking. And then there were the phone calls James had been making in the days leading up to his death. Calls to numbers Lily didn't recognize. Lily decided to start digging. She went through James's office, his computer, his phone records. What she found was unsettling. James had been involved in some shady business deals that Alex seemed to know about. One evening, Lily confronted Alex. "Did you know about this?" she asked, holding up a stack of documents. Alex hesitated, his expression unreadable. "Lily, I think it's best if you let this go. James wouldn't want you to get involved." "Involved in what, Alex? What was he mixed up in?" Alex sighed, running a hand through his hair. "It's complicated. James was in over his head. There were people, dangerous people. I tried to warn him, but he wouldn't listen." Lily felt a chill run down her spine. "Are you saying someone killed him?" Alex didn't answer. But the look in his eyes was enough to confirm her suspicions. As the investigation into James's death continued, Lily found herself drawn deeper into a web of lies and deceit. She started receiving anonymous threats, warning her to stop asking questions. But Lily was determined to find out the truth, no matter the cost. The more Lily dug, the darker the truth became. James's death wasn't just an accident, it was a carefully orchestrated murder. And the closer she got to uncovering the truth, the more dangerous her life became. One night, Lily received a package at her doorstep. Inside was a USB drive and a note that read, "Stop digging, or you'll end up like James." Her hands trembled as she plugged the drive into her laptop. It contained files, emails, financial records, and photos that implicated Alex in James's death. Lily's heart raced as she scrolled through the documents. Alex had been involved in illegal business deals, and James had found out. Instead of backing down, James had threatened to expose everything. That's when Alex had decided to silence him, permanently. Lily felt sick. The man she had trusted, the man she had started to develop feelings for, was a killer. She didn't know what to do. If she went to the police, Alex would deny everything, and she had no concrete proof. But if she stayed silent, James's death would go unpunished. The next day, Lily arranged to meet Alex at a secluded cafe. She needed to confront him, to see if there was any shred of humanity left in him. "You knew, didn't you?" Lily asked, her voice steady despite the storm raging inside her. Alex looked at her, his expression unreadable. "Knew what? About James? About what you did to him?" Alex's eyes darkened, and for a moment, Lily thought he was going to deny it. But then he leaned back in his chair, a cold smile playing on his lips. "You're smarter than I gave you credit for, Lily," he said, "but you're in over your head. You should have let this go." Lily's heart pounded in her chest. "Why, Alex? Why did you do it?" "Because James was a liability," Alex replied, his voice calm, almost chilling. "He was going to ruin everything I've worked for. I had no choice." Lily felt tears sting her eyes. "You had a choice. You could have walked away, but you chose to kill him." Alex's smile faded, and for a moment, he looked almost regretful. "It's not that simple, Lily. You don't understand the kind of people we were dealing with." "I understand enough," Lily said, standing up, "and I won't let you get away with this." Alex's eyes narrowed. "Be careful, Lily. You're playing a dangerous game." Lily left the cafe, her mind racing. She knew she was in danger. But she couldn't back down now. She had to expose the truth, no matter the cost. After her confrontation with Alex, Lily felt like she was living in a nightmare. Every shadow seemed to move. Every sound made her jump. She couldn't trust anyone, not even herself. The truth about James's death had shattered her world. And now she was left to pick up the pieces, all while looking over her shoulder. Lily knew she had to act fast. She couldn't let Alex get away with what he'd done. But she also knew she was in over her head. She reached out to Detective Harris, the lead investigator on James's case, and arranged to meet him in secret. "I need your help," Lily said, her voice trembling as she handed over the USB drive. "This is everything, proof that Alex was involved in James's death." Detective Harris scanned the files, his expression growing darker with each passing second. "This is serious, Lily. If what's here is true, Alex is a dangerous man. You need to be careful." "I know," Lily replied, "but I can't let him get away with this. James deserves justice." Detective Harris nodded. "I'll look into this, but it's going to take time. In the meantime, you need to stay out of sight. Alex won't hesitate to come after you if he thinks you're a threat." Lily followed the detective's advice and went into hiding. But the paranoia was unbearable. Every knock on the door, every unfamiliar face, sent her into a panic. She couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. The weight of everything was crushing her. One night, as Lily was sitting alone in the dimly lit safe house, she received a text from an unknown number. "You can't hide forever." Her heart raced as she stared at the screen. Alex knew where she was. She had to move, and fast. Lily packed her things and fled to a remote cabin in the woods. A place no one would think to look for her. But even there, She couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. Days turned into weeks, and Lily's isolation began to take its toll. She started to doubt herself, wondering if she'd made the right choice. What if she was wrong about Alex? What if she'd misinterpreted the evidence? But then, one evening, as she was sitting by the fire, she heard a noise outside. Her heart stopped. She grabbed a knife from the kitchen and crept to the window. Peering out into the darkness, there, standing in the shadows, was Alex.